Welcome to the Adeptus Tactica. Games Workshop made multiple big announcements at AdeptiCon 2025. New Space Wolves, the Chaos Codexes, all with some new models, a Grey Knights Codex and a few other bits. But the announcement that will have the biggest impact on the game in general, specifically the competitive scene, is the new mission deck. This time simply titled 2025-26 Mission Deck. I thought it would be a good idea to take a look at this announcement, explain what all this means the best I can with the info we have, and then speculate what this might mean for the game going forward, specifically in the competitive scene. 1, 3 mission types, now available. You now choose your style of play during the mission parameters step. Incursion, 1000 points. Not just a downscaled game anymore. These now have fresh unit restrictions and their own deployment maps. This suggests GW is taking smaller games more seriously, with proper balancing to ensure they don't just feel like half a Strike Force game. Strike Force, 2000 points, remains the standard for match play, particularly in competitive formats. Expected to receive a new set of mission cards within the deck for ongoing variety and possible balancing tweaks. Asymmetrical War, new. This is the biggest curveball of the announcement. It introduces uneven deployment zones, different primary objectives for each player. This is a huge departure from the traditional symmetrical structure of 9th and 10th edition games and opens up new strategic challenges. It might feel like a fusion between matched play and narrative, with competitive potential depending on how balanced the scenarios are. Challenger cards replacing secret missions. In current 10th edition games, secret missions are rarely game deciding. Most players don't factor them in unless the game is close. The new challenger cards are triggered when you are losing by 6 or more victory points at the start of a battle round. Provide 2 options, a free stratagem, a challenger mission that runs in addition to your current primary and secondary objectives. You must choose one, so there's a tension between getting immediate value, stratagem, or taking a longer shot to swing the game with the challenger mission. This seems like a clever balancing tool, not punishing the winning player, but giving the underdog meaningful tools to stay in the game. What this means for the game at large: more variety, more replayability. The inclusion of separate cards per mission type allows for modular design and improved balance within each format. It's a nod to Kill Team success with deck-based missions and objectives, possibly signalling GW's growing interest in a deck-building plus mission generation hybrid for 40,000. Smoother scaling between game sizes. Incursion missions getting their own setup rules means more serious, smaller games, especially useful for new players or tournament prep on tighter schedules. Encouragement of narrative through asymmetry. Competitive players may initially avoid Asymmetrical War due to concerns about fairness, but they open the door to campaign play, scenario-based tournaments, team formats, unique streamer/YouTube missions that break standard norms, how it could change the competitive scene. 1, greater comeback potential. Challenger cards could reduce non-games. A match that's effectively decided by turn 2 might now see comeback plays by giving the underdog some gas. Second meta shifts, based on mission deck composition, depending on the number and style of missions included in the Strike Force subset. We could see renewed emphasis on board control, resilience, or speed. Codexes with strong flexible scoring and hard CE, Custodes, Eldar, GSC might maintain dominance or face nerfs from mission-specific effects. Deck building layer. GW hasn't confirmed if you can build your own mission deck, but if that's eventually implemented, it would add a meta element where players prepare mission decks tailored to their army's strengths. Add sideboard-like strategic depth to events. TOs have more customization tools. Tournament organizers might run all incursion-only events with competitive integrity, use Asymmetrical War for themed events or one-day scenarios, include or exclude challenger cards based on desired event tone, more casual versus high stakes. Final thoughts. This feels like a mid-edition refresh that's part of GW's response to feedback about 10th edition being too streamlined or repetitive. While the core mechanics of 10th aren't changing, This mission overhaul might do more for the game than any single codex could, and for competitive players, you're going to need to start planning for the unexpected. With asymmetry, dynamic comebacks, and possibly mission-specific unit relevance, list building and in-game tactics are going to get deeper. If you're looking to get more insider knowledge from the Adeptus Tactica, then consider subscribing to the chapter. Good day, and may the Emperor protect.